LA Knight's rise continues. And in this video, I'm going to break down an interesting feud that LA Knight actually recently teased, and I can 100% see WWE doing, and I think it would be a great idea. Now, at SummerSlam, LA Knight won the Slim Jim Battle Royale. In the opening match, Logan Paul went over Ricochet, and that was a fun match. We knew coming out of SummerSlam, LA Knight was going to get a big push from WWE, and that is what's happened. He has entered a feud with The Miz, a feud that I'm very high on because it hits a few criterias. It hits the fact that LA Knight is pushed, he's used on television, he gets microphone time, he's winning matches, and he's going to be in a feud in which he will go over in the end, and I like that. Logan Paul's a guy that WWE has protected. And while his win-loss record doesn't show that necessarily, WB has certainly done that. And he's a guy that they think highly of because he brings outside interest thanks to his YouTube and boxing career and prime and the publicity that he gets. And LA Knight is going to be going over The Miz, but what do we do afterwards? What do we do at Survivor Series or Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or somewhere down the line? Well, LA Knight kind of gave us some insight with that because he was speaking on WWE's The Bump, and he talked about doing a potential feud with Logan Paul. Knight was talking about how Logan Paul, he reminds him of The Miz. The only difference is Miz has been around for a while and Logan Paul's a new face. He made the analogy that, like The Miz, Logan Paul has gotten on the elevator and rose straight to the top of the card without necessarily working for it. And like he's about to do with The Miz, he can pull the red carpet underneath Paul. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great feud, and I think it's something that WWE should seriously consider. Because, look, and I've reached on this on a previous video, you can't necessarily put the WWE title or the world title or the undisputed title on LA Knight tomorrow. You got to build him up slowly, because if you give him the title, you risk having the fans turn on him. And he's not necessarily in a Sami Zayn situation, I guess you could say that, although he was built into a main eventer over months, and Daniel Bryan was slowly put into that position as well when he had the whole yes movement. LA Knight's a guy that has never won a secondary title, has never been a world champion before. He's really building his way up. And while, yeah, you could technically do anything you want, considering you're booking him, I don't think it's wise to necessarily give him the title right away. I think he needs to hit some momentum. And yes, you can make the argument that WB should have had him win Money in the Bank, and I would agree with that. I still stand by that they made a mistake, although Damian Priest has done a great job with what he's done as Money in the Bank winner, and I like the tease within Judgment Day and whether or not Damian Priest can get along with Finn Balor and vice versa. I still stand by. I think you have LA Knight win the 2024 Royal Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania to win the world title from whoever champion is at the time, whether that be Seth Rollins or someone else, because I think that is the correct way to go. And I don't think Cody Rhodes necessarily needs to win the Royal Rumble to get there to go to the rematch with Roman Reigns. So, in the meantime, he's got to do something, right? You have Crown Jewel in November-ish in Saudi Arabia. You have Survivor Series that same month. You still got Payback, and Payback will do Miz feud. You have the October pay-per-view. You have no December pay-per-view. And, of course, Elimination Chamber and stuff like that in 2024. Either way, I'm reigning at this point, but you get the gist. Logan Paul, LA Knight, I like it. Book it, WB.